going on, people? Welcome to the Hot Dad Pod, our weekly thing that we used to do last year. So we're going to give you guys our picks for week 2. If you guys followed us on our last episode of the podcast, man, I was off on a lot of on a lot of them right off the gates with the under on Dallas versus Tampa Bay. I was not expecting it to be that much of a fucking shootout, but hey, live and learn.
I went 11-5. So if I do that again this week, then we're going to continue. If I don't, then we're going to quit this.
Yep.
Anyway, let's just jump right into it. So
right.
First game, Thursday night game, is New York Football Giants at Washington. Washington's -3.5, and the over/under is 40.5. I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I want to take the under because, well, one, it's Thursday, and I just don't remember seeing a lot of, crazy games. But I'm going to do the -3.5 on Washington.
Okay. Next game is Cincinnati at Chicago. Chicago -2.5. I'm taking the over. Or sorry, the over/under is 46. I'm taking the over.
Ooh, over on those two. I'm terrified. I'm taking the spread for Chicago.
Okay.
But I'm terrified.
Yeah, I know I would. If you little insider info, I think it's down to 2 points now. I took these numbers down this morning, and so the look ahead line means like they'll put a line out for the games going forward. Like, so this Sunday morning there'll be lines out for next week's games, and then they change the lines, seeing how everyone reacts to the Sunday games. Immediately after Sunday, the Bears went from -3.5 to -2.5, which is considered kind of a big swing in one day. And now all the money's coming in Cincinnati. On the radio today, I heard they say some sites have it always -1.5, which means like the money's coming hard in on Cincinnati. I think both teams are, at the end of the day, kind of poopy. So I do think Cincinnati matches up very well to Chicago, though.
Yep.
But I do think they both can score on each other. This is more talking about. I was going to give my picks without any opinion. So
we can make it longer, baby.
Yeah,
we can make it longer.
So the next game is the Rams at Indy. Indy's getting +3.5. The over/under is 48.5. I'm taking the Rams -3.5.
I will join you. To go back really quick on Cincinnati and Chicago, obviously there's that Dalton thing there too, where he might want to try to stick it to him, or I don't know. That might
want to, but
yeah, that might have its benefits, or at the same time might be the dagger.
If you want to know Joe Burrow's career against the spread, he is 7-2-1. So I don't know if that changes anything for you, but he. He's been. I don't think he's ever been a favorite in his career because he's on the Bengals. But he is 7-2. Like, I made a lot of money off. I shouldn't say a lot, but I won several Bengal games last year until he got hurt. Once he got hurt, I would not touch them. But before that, he's a cover machine. We got New Orleans at Carolina. Carolina's +3.5. The over/under is 45. I'm gonna take the 3.5 with Carolina.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take it for New Orleans.
We got Houston at Cleveland. Cleveland's -12.5. The over/under is 47.5. I think Houston's dog shit, and the only reason they did good last week is because they're going to go against an even more dog shit team in Jacksonville. So I'm going to take Cleveland minus that 12.5 and just hope Houston doesn't get like a backdoor cover.
I'm going to take the over.
We got Buffalo at Miami. Miami's +3.5. The over/under is 47.5. Again, I'm going to take Buffalo minus the 3.5.
And I will join you as well.
We got San Francisco at Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia's +3. The over/under is 50.5. I'm going to take San Francisco minus the 3.
Same.
Yeah, and as I'm looking through these, I'm like, I'm kind of like taking a lot of favorites. But by the way, also last week, 9 underdogs, 1 outright, which is, like, I guess, a record.
Imagine a parlay on that.
Oh, it would have been a lot. I'm sure someone somewhere got it. But yeah, it would have been solid, especially because trying to think. I already forget what the big underdog was. I know like Green Bay getting their teeth kicked in was like a surprise, but I forget. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Denver at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's +6. Over unders 45. I'm going to take Denver minus the 6.
Yep, same thing.
We've got New England at New York Jets +6 for the Jets. The over under is 42.5. I'm going to take the over.
I'm actually going to take the under.
All right. Yeah, I actually have under, and then I cross it off, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going over.
You never cross it out.
Yeah, it's gonna. I'm obviously gonna be upset with myself if it does go under. Just
I see that being 13-3.
Yeah, Yep. Listen. I'm sticking with. I've said it. We're going over. New England's gonna score 45 themselves. We got Las Vegas at Pittsburgh Pittsburgh is -5.5, and the over under is 47. I'm gonna take the under.
I'm gonna take Las Vegas.
All right. I would, if Vegas didn't beat Baltimore, I would have taken them. I think they're gonna be just like they were last year. They're gonna have a couple upsets that you're like, oh fuck, and then there's gonna be a couple games where they just fucking wet the bed, and you're like, okay, this team sucks. In Pittsburgh, I still don't know if I'm 100%. Like, this is my relationship with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Every first 8 games of the season, I'm like, they're not as good as everyone says they are. Atlanta at Tampa, -12.5 for Tampa. The over under is 52. I'm going to take the under.
I'm going to take the under too. I do see Tampa Bay dropping 40.
No, that's my nerves.
But Atlanta's just not going to do anything.
Yep, I almost want to guess the exact score of I don't know, 49-0, 51-0. Minnesota at Arizona. Arizona's -3.5. The over under's 50.5. This game,
This is a tough one too. I was looking at this, and to me, it could go either way. I don't trust Cousins. I never really have, but goddamn, it's also in Arizona. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
I think there's a possibility that Minnesota is a train wreck. I think that I'm trying not to overreact to week 1 because everyone always overreacts with week 1, and Arizona looked awesome, and I guess Minnesota. A buddy of mine always said if the number's too good to be true, it always is. That's part of the reason the Giants Washington game I took the under, because I'm like, man, they're just begging you to take the under. Fuck it, I'm taking the under. Yeah. But the way Arizona played and the way Minnesota played, I feel like Arizona should be 6-point favorites.
Right.
But they're 3.5. I'm like, huh. But I'm gonna go against that logic and take Arizona at -3.5.
My boy Thielen.
He's the only fucking guy that did anything in Minnesota. Yes, it looks like I put LAL, so I'm like the Lakers. Anyway, Dallas at the Chargers. I got
the Lakers 6.5.
Yeah, sure. The Chargers are -3.5, and the over under is 55. I'm gonna take Dallas at the +3.5.
You know, it's a tough one for me because I can see this also going both ways, but I'm going to take Dallas's performance last week as you were going against Tom Brady. So you better fucking, leave it all. I don't think they're going to do the same. I think they're going to do what Dallas does. I think Chargers. I will take the Chargers at 3.5.
Yeah, I kind of think it's just going to play out exactly how that game played out. Is Dallas is going to march them down the field, tie the game up, leave too much time on the clock, and the Chargers are going to go back down the field and kick a game-winning field goal. Yeah. So if that happens, I should get bonus points for that because it's a really specific prediction. I just think the game's going to go down to the wire is my point. Yeah. We got Tennessee at Seattle. Seattle's -5.5. Over unders 54. This is another one that was tough for me because Tennessee was gross, brutal, but I just don't think they're that bad. So I'm gonna take the 5.5. Seattle also plays close games most of the time. It feels like.
I'm taking Seattle Yeah,
All
five and
right,
a
all right, all right, all right, all right. Oh, fuck you too.
half.
We got Kansas City at Baltimore. Baltimore is getting is plus 3.5. The over under is 55.5. I'm going to take KC at the Baltimore's hurt, and they usually actually kind of play. They usually kind of butt fuck Baltimore.
Yeah, I'll take KC all day. There is that small chance, going back to what I said about Dallas against Tampa Bay, that Baltimore might just fucking leave it all out there. Just I don't think you have the weapons to keep up with with Kansas City, especially if like Lamar is just throwing. Someone just sent me this um, tonight. Jalen Hurts has more regular season 300-yard passing games, 2 in 5 career starts, than Lamar has, who has 1 in 38 career starts. Um, you're going to need 300 yards of passing to beat Casey.
Wow, that actually. Wow, I would not like. I know he's not like. Those are bare quarterback numbers right
Yeah.
there. I mean, obviously he usually fucking puts up like 50 to another 100 yards on the ground running.
He's
But
gross running. I like the
yeah,
other day. Oh my god! And I'm not shitting on him. I'm just like, in order to beat KC, you're gonna have to sling it.
I mean that's and the game plan is that's the thing with him. You keep him in the pocket.
Yep.
He's just not as effective. He's not a awful quarterback, but he's not Tom Brady in the pocket. Okay,
Right.
like if you keep him in the pocket, you're gonna have a much better chance. The Monday night game is this one. Oh man, I just
Yeah, this
I,
is.
I just looked at I crossed out 2 different things and then I spoiler I went with the over, but I had Detroit. I then went the under and then I put the over. Anyway, it's Detroit at Green Bay. Green Bay's minus 11.5. I'm going with the over just because I think Detroit will be able to put up some points. I think Green Bay might fucking drop. Like they're not as bad as they were last week, and I think they might be trying to put a fucking bloodbath out there tonight on Monday night after all the shit that's been talked about them. But I think Detroit, that fucking kneecap biter of a coach, like they proved it against San Fran that like they don't give up. So they're I think they're going to be like the king of backdoor covers this season. They're going to have these high totals. And they're just going to sneak in there and cover at the end of the games.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna do the over. The over. Detroit 11.5.
All right.
They were talking about how there were like a few NFL quarterbacks that did not participate in preseason, and they all I think ended up losing and not performing good. And Rodgers was one of them. So I don't believe that's going to be the case again. But I also don't think it's going to be that big of a ass whooping.
Anyway, that's all. That's all the games. That's a wrap. Fuck
And
you, Brad.
once again, I'm going to make a line on that. I have to go back and make sure I do exactly what I said. So just in case we win, I might even do 5 games, and then do like the 5 that I think are more for sure, and then do a full crazy one.
Yeah, I hit a parlay on 4 teams. I actually what I'd like to do is the 4 or 5 I like the most. I like the most. I like to do a teaser, which is a parlay, but you basically you can pick how many points you add to each line. So like, say you do a 6-point teaser, I pick New York, who's plus 3.5, and Cincinnati, that's plus 2.5, and I do a 6-point teaser. That then it's going to be New York 9.5, Cincinnati 8.5. So the odds aren't as great as a normal parlay, but it's still like boosted odds. It's still like you're going to at least double your money on that bet, and if you do, so it was like a $25 bet that I turned into like 160.
Good luck out there betting this weekend. Hopefully you have better luck than I had. But
yeah, you can either follow my bets because I'm 11-5. I'm already the greatest gambler alive.
I don't know the number.
It wasn't 11-5. I do have it in a notebook somewhere, but I don't know where it's at either.
I know. Would guess 10-6.
It wasn't 11-5. You definitely were not 10-6. I know that. I would bet like 0-16. I don't
know if you know what I'm doing. There's no way you know what I'm doing right now.
But there's no way though. Are you showing me your asshole? But
that's for our OnlyFans.
But if you were 0-16, There is this. Let's pretend in a world like I go fine. Let's reverse this. You go 16-0, I go 0-16, and it continues that pattern. Or even say in a world you just go 8-8 every week, I go 0-16. People are still going to follow my picks because they're just going to fade me every week.
Yeah.
So.
And
Anyway.
if either one of us gets lucky, then that's a win-win.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
everybody wins. All right.
All right.
See you next week.
Toodles. Anyway.